will be in slots 1 and 3, so slot 2 is safe.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess we are going live on YouTube now, and
Okay.
Find the link also.
very quickly, I guess I'm just going to share the just going to share the link for all of you. Okay, so Sony sir, you and I are on the same planet, I think.
Same planet.
Right. So yeah, I think we are live on YouTube now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we are live, sir. Let me just share the link also with
Yeah, share a
everybody.
link,
यहाँ
let
पे
me
chat
share it.
में भी.
Okay.
Just a sec.
I put it here. So welcome everybody. For some
Yeah.
reason, I cannot see the chat on YouTube on my So we've got some legends in the industry with us today. Patrick D'Souza sir and of course Sony Goel sir, both of whom are live with us today. And we obviously the agenda of the session today is to can you share this on my this thing, Shravan?
Where?
The link of YouTube on my
Phone. Okay. Yeah. Sure. I'll share. Yeah.
3%. So
Yeah. I'll just share.
like this a bit. So some problem in viewing the live chats. Can you handle the live chats discussion on?
Sure, sir. I'll do that. Yeah.
My machine is not showing the live chats.
I've sent the link also on WhatsApp. So you can.
Shared already. Start.
Yeah. So I think. Right. So we've got Patrick who's been consistently 100 percentile over so many years, kind of a big boss of CAT over the last decade or so. Very storied attempts at CAT, and he was in slot 1. Sony Goel is Ahmedabad pass out, and he was in slot 2. Shaurya was also in slot 1 along with Patrick. Patrick was in Bombay, Shaurya was in Delhi. Pallav also in Delhi, slot 2, and me, of course, me and Sony were in slot 3. So you've got a perspective of all the 3 slots, and let's start discussing section wise. So or maybe the first thing we can do is we can try to see, okay, I mean, what kind of jump? I mean, let's say, sorry, Goel, you take the CAT every year. Patrick, you also take the CAT every year. So this paper, what kind of jump was it allowing on score? I mean, there's definitely a growth in scores, specifically because of the DILR section. So that's something that seems quite the story of the day. So what kind of jump would a 100 percentile have? My contention is that if I'm trying to calculate how much a 99 percentile, 3,000 people are getting 99 percentile. So if a 100 percentile is able to jump his score by around 20 marks on this paper, if he performs similarly to CAT 23 and performs similarly in CAT 24, और 20 mark का jump अगर हो रहा है 100 percentile में, तो the 99 percentile 3,000 लोग का जो jump होगा will be a fraction of that 20 marks, maybe something like 12-13 marks, is my thought process. So we need to get that number in place. कि इस paper में how much score would the toppers like us be able to jump our score by? So that's the first this thing. So Patrick sir, what is your thought process on this question?
So yeah, I think if you ask me pure 100%, yes, there is a chance that it can jump up by 20 marks purely mainly because if you look at last year's score, the quant score of 100 percentile and the DLR score of 100 percentile were comparatively lower. So last year, I mean, if you look at 100, this year I'm expecting that people at least the 100 percentile range would have scored higher. So combining the two, I think yes, there could be a jump of more than 15 for sure, but could go to 20 plus. From 140 to it could go to 160. Purely because in last few years the DLR people have not scored well. So if a person scores 60 plus in DLR, automatically his scores jumps by 10-12 marks there itself. And last year count was tough.
So somebody was getting 115, 120 last year, or maybe somebody was getting 100 in last year's exam with the same performance, will score around 20 marks more. The delta is 20.
No, it'll go down. As in when you go down. So if I'm saying a person
Is
maybe
the delta
get
20 or is the delta 30?
100% will go up by 20, but if you are asking me, a 110 guy may go up by some 10, 12 marks, 15. I mean, that's how. I mean, as in when you come down, the extra score that is scored by other people will go. There are few people who can max the score, but not everyone can max. So that means the increase will not be so much at a 110 level, 110, 120 level.
Maybe 15 marks, which means that going down all the way to 99 percentile, there will be a 10 to 12 mark jump. Then
Yeah, 99% will be around 10, 12 marks jump. Yeah, that's
that is
what.
one way to calibrate. We'll try to get to maybe 3 calibrations of where we are putting our 99 percentile. अगर हम लोग ये assumption को मान के चलते हैं, मुझे भी ये लगा इस पेपर में when I saw the slot 3 and I tried to solve parts of it. I also felt that 20 marks a jump is doable on this paper. My contentions for the 20 mark jump was I found the verbal to be more difficult to score this year than last year. Reason was one is the length of the paper. I mean, normally, if I solve the verbal paper, for me, I mean, this is one of the reasons I go and solve parts of the paper. And if I solve the verbal paper at home or if I try to practice a CAT 23 or a CAT 22 verbal paper, I was finishing it off in 34-35 minutes. यहाँ पे I was able to reach the last question only with the last minute left or something like that. So it was a struggle to get to all 24 attempts अगर वो कर रहे थे आप. So in that context, I felt that the paper was lengthier definitely. There was no, I mean, for a person like me, there was no 5-minute RC. My RCs were taking me 7-8 minutes, which would be the basic time on completing an RC. So that's one of the reasons I'm saying that. And the second reason I'm saying that the verbal score will be a downer. Sorry, sir, I think you're muted. We are not able to hear you. Okay, so the other reason I'm saying is because I got a feeling that the options were not so crystal clear. You see the CAT 23 papers options, the option we could see that A answer हो सकता है. It was kind of shining out of 4 options. Option B answer है तो वो shine कर रहा था. इस साल वो नहीं हो रहा था, neither in the verbal questions nor in the DI nor in the RC questions. Did you guys have a similar feel? Sunny sir, what about your feel?
Yeah, sir. This year, like I found verbal to be lengthy, no doubt. The length of the passages was more. At the same time, questions were again layered. They were not straightway questions, right? So you cannot get, like last year, there was at least one RC which was plain and 2 RCs was doable. But this year, I found all 3 RCs to be layered. So maybe -5 this year for the 99% score and overall.
It'll definitely drop from last year.
In the drop.
What about Shoya, Pallav, you guys, what did you feel?
Yeah, I think it's fine. Whatever Sony is saying is fine. I mean, I don't know -5, but yeah, the paper was lengthier, and I felt okay. The answers were okay, but yeah, expecting the scores to go a little bit down as far as verbal is concerned. Yes.
So yeah, and I would think 5 marks would be the approximate, maybe a couple of questions down from last year. The approximate, I mean, the same percentiles would drop down. So if 35, 36 gave you a certain percentile last year, this year 30, 31 will give you similar percentiles.
Right. So if we talk about the toppers, right? So they are always people who are able to finish, like Arun sir said, a paper maybe in 35 minutes or so. So they have the breathing space to correct if there is any error. But today's paper, it was not like that. So if you have finished 24 questions, like you are too good at verbal. Otherwise, it's very difficult to finish the paper of today's paper within 40 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, you will not have the clarity. I mean, what I felt was for me, my RC is my strongest part. And although I teach quants and DI more, but my RC, solving wise, my RC is my strongest part because a couple of days ago, I was sitting at home and just saying कि चलो CAT 23 का RC solve करते हैं. Of course, एक साल बाद याद नहीं रहता है, तो I was able to do some passages in 4 minutes, reading the passage and getting all the answers through. I could not see anything like that in today's paper, in the exam today. So it was this thing, and the other factor was, as I said, the clarity of options. When you're marking an answer in verbal, 2 तरह की फीलिंग आती है. एक फीलिंग आती है बॉस यही आंसर है, तुम मेरे से मेरी घड़ी ले लो, मेरा गाड़ी का चाबी ले लो, जो लेना है ले लो, लेकिन आंसर ये होगा. अगर आंसर गलत होगा तो you can take my car. And then there are other questions in which another answer where you see that okay, this looks like the answer, you are quite sure of it, but you will not bet your car on it. So I got a lot of feeling like that while solving the verbal section today. And that is one of the reasons why I'm saying that that there were a couple of mentors of Kerala Launcher, etc., who recognized me on my center. I was in Sector 62, Noida. When they came out, I asked them, "How's the verbal?" They said, "बहुत आसान था verbal." अच्छा, आपको आसान लगा वो मुझे तो नहीं लगा. So anyway, then I tried to reason with them this logic, but anyway, so that's, I think, the common theme. Pallav and Shaurya, what is your feeling about? Well, Shaurya, you are a verbal expert also. So what is your feeling about the verbal section?
Budding expert, I would say. But yeah, I mean, in slot one, one stark difference I definitely felt from previous year papers was that generally मतलब जैसे summary questions होते हैं, like in verb, like especially VA questions where summary होता है, तो you are able to zone in on two options at least कि अच्छा A या C में से one of them will be the answer. इसमें it felt like या तो none of the answers are correct या फिर even if the answers are correct, there are like not every option is capturing the entire essence. Like there are parts of the essence being captured by the options. That is something which I felt in my slot. I mean, of course, there has to be a right answer and that has to happen. But that was something which I felt, especially in this year's paper, some summary question types. And RC, though, I did feel it was a little longer. Well, I don't know if it was because of the smaller screen, but I think it was a little longer, maybe
This
10,
was definitely
15%
much longer.
longer. Definitely.
But I think there were around 100 words extra, one passage, one para extra, almost in every passage. Is what I felt. Okay, so that takes the big story, of course, of the DILR today. Huge jump of scores expected out of DILR because they were not protecting. I mean, CAT 23, 22, 23. I felt they were protecting the marks of DI. कि तुम मेरे से कैसे ले लोगे तुम marks? यहाँ पे वो दे रहे थे खुले. That is what I got a feeling. Although I did while trying to work out a set, एक दो points था जिसपे you could misinterpret things in my slot, at least third slot, and this thing. But I think where would the 100 percentiles be in this 22 attempts?
Yeah, 100% will be 22 attempts in this. But there are around 13-1400 percentiles. So I'm assuming there are at least 13-14 people who can attempt 22 questions. So I don't see a problem with that.
All correct.
Full, that, yeah, more or less. So it will be above 60 for sure, 63, 64, around that. So, but yes, but not all. A lot of students have not, because people have gone with the mindset saying that those set kafi hai, teen set kafi hai. So people have not gone 100 percentiles, maybe yes, but if you go down to a 99.5 or 99 percentile, it will come down to 3 sets. I mean, people have not gone and pushed themselves and said 5 sets, because in the mocks, look, what happens is how the way you solve in the mocks, the way you solve in the exam. In the mocks, people were happy with 3 sets maximum. A very, very good student would be happy with 3 sets. Or no good student would be happy with 2 sets. Now we have gone to the exam and they said, okay, 5 sets, I'm very good, 4 sets is sufficient. So their mindset is 4 sets, so they do not push themselves for 5 sets, is what I feel. I mean, could have solved, but must have missed that.
Yeah, we discussed with Arun sir before this live also that there may be one extra set they are solving, but it will not add to number of questions because the 4-3 will add. Yeah.
I mean, 4 sets is equal to 3 sets actually.
3 sets, right. So
4 and 5, if you did 17 questions, it is almost equal to 5 3 sets of last year.
Yeah. So
just getting questions extra.
For a student, getting into a 4th set was not easy. Right? Maybe the people who are, let's say, 100 percentile or so, who are teaching quant or DILR, for them getting into 4th set was still possible. But for a student, doing 3 sets, that to write, and as Patrick sir said, with the mentality of getting 2 is enough or 2.5 is enough, crossing 3 would be a challenge for most of the students.
Where would we put the 99 percentile of DI? Last year, I think 99 percentile was what Thomas score? 27, 28, 29 marks.
No, 99 was, I think, higher. Last year, I got 27 and mine was somewhere 98. So
29, 30 marks pe hoga, 99%.
Marks pe tha, sir. 30 was 99.
Last year, 99 was around 27 marks.
27, 28, I think that was where it was.
Yeah, it was 27 marks.
10, 12 marks ka jump to easily 37, 38.
38, sir. 36, 37.
39. I mean, 12 marks ka jump easily.
38, 36 to 38 marks is what I said.
36 to 38, yeah. Not more than
3,000
that.
people would have definitely solved 3 sets completely. Especially given the 2 sets were the traditional DI completely out and out. In the slot 3. What is the structure of the paper in slot 1, Patrick and
So it was similar like everywhere. One pure DI set, two
Ah.
sets which was DI but logic based, and
Ah.
two logic sets. So it was similar set setting across sections. So that's what they put. The DI set I believe was easy to solve, so could easily crack it. From the remaining, one of the sets were a little lengthy, so that would take time. But the rest three was doable in a sense. So technically, 4 sets were doable, but a lot of people have restricted themselves to 3 sets. I mean, that's what I would put it.
So where would somebody who got 4 sets through will be at what, 99.7, 99.8?
Yeah, 4th set will be around 99.7, 99.6, yeah, around that.
Right, and of course you need the 5th set to get to 100 percentile.
And even, sir, you solve all the set complete, you are bound to make mistake. I just realized one of my mistake in the protein set. He was asking that how many it is possible to find the values. So there were actually 7 variables. I thought it was 7, so I marked 6. Actually, the answer has to be 7.
Actually, you just realized that.
So yeah, mistakes could happen. Therefore, yeah, even if you solve all 22, there is a chance that you will go wrong. And yeah, again, the cut 100 percentile will not be 66, but maybe 63 or 60. It will be above 60 for sure, but around that. But as in when you go down, yes, even if you solve a 4 set, it doesn't mean all the questions are correct, as Sony said.
Yeah. So I guess so that I mean this I think the first conclusion we drew was the 5-mark drop in verbal. I think can we draw a conclusion of or a consensus on number of marks that that DILR is increasing this year for the 99
If you talk about 99 percentile, yes, there will be a plus 10 plus 12 marks jump.
Ah.
But at a lower level, the jump will not be so much. At a 99 percentile, yes. But if I go
lower
to
level,
80,
the jump might just be 6 marks or something. It will be a fraction
yeah.
of. So again, let's look at it from this point. The 100 percentile last year was at 45 marks, I think. That is jumping to 60, 40, 42, 45. 40, 45 was the 100 percentile band last year. And that's jumping to 60 plus. So there was a 15 to 20 mark jump in the 100 percentile this year. For 2 reasons. One is the easier papers and there are 2 extra questions also. Last year, DILR, we have to remember, was out of 60 marks. This year it is out of 66 marks. So the 2 extra questions also raise they have a tendency to pull up the scores.
So plus 15 marks plus 15 to almost 17 marks for 100 percentile, yes.
Yes, so plus 15, 17 for 100 percentile. So plus 10 to 12 for a 99 percentile. 37 to 39 for 99 percentile, and maybe plus at the 90 percentile, it might just be plus 5, 6.
So, sir, there will also be plus 10. The solvable sets were there. So the student bracket 70 to 90. So last year they were like at max they are able to solve 1 set, that too 4 or 5 questions. Right?
What was the
full
percentile
set.
at 15
But
marks?
this year, I think 15 marks was 70 percentile, 80, 70 or 80 last year, I think so.
For what, last year?
Last year.
15
was,
marks DRR
yeah.
Would be around 90 percentile.
15 marks was 90.
Yeah, 15.5.
We'll go to around 20. We'll go to 20, I think. 6 marks ही jump करेगा. 90 percentile jump by 6 marks only.
Yeah, so it'll go to 20, 21 approximately. 90 percentile.
It will not jump that much. मतलब एक set तो किया होगा ना last year 90 percentile ने.
हाँ, तो yeah, so it'll go to 20
क्या होगा
to
तो
20.
8 या 9 questions solve किया होगा, उसमें एक आध गलत भी होगा उसका. Not all those people who solved 8, 9 questions will get all 8, 9 correct. So you're going to end up with 7 questions worth marks. 6 marks का jump होगा. I think on the 90%. So 20.
I think, sir, if it was 15 last year for 90 percentile, this year it should touch 25.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Even I don't think so.
Because the
plus 10 is for a higher percentile. At 99 point, there'll be a plus 10, plus 15. But at 90 percentile, it'll be plus 5, plus 6.
Again, look at the same logic now. The growth of a 100 percentile score. उसी का fraction होगा growth of a 90 percentile score now. If 100 percentile is able to raise the score by 15 marks, 90 percentile will not be able to raise the score by 15 marks.
Yeah, Sudhir has put it that yeah, 90 percentile is 15
Top
point,
14
15,
people in the
15.
country are able to raise their score by 15 marks on DI from last year. The top 30,000 people in the country can't raise their score by 15 marks. इतना भी आसान पेपर था. There will be a fraction. It will be and I mean I think the ratios will be similar in all the sections as on the overall paper. I would think a 6 mark, 6 maybe बहुत ऊपर होगा तो 7-8 mark होगा. On the-
I was giving sir extra marks because of the DI thing. Because many students they were struggling last year with the LR part. They were like completely not able to get hold of the set. But today, even after even the student who is average student, he says, okay, I got the hold of the set. I am able to do something out of DI question at least.
Yeah, but what happens is people don't push after point of time. As I said, people have gone with the mindset saying that एक set काफी है, दो set काफी है. So a lot of students have gone into exam saying that oh last year मुझे एक set पे I would get 90 percentile. This time if I solve one set, maybe max two set, that is sufficient. People have not pushed themselves. So I'm not expecting the scores to jump too much. At a higher level, people jump, but not at a 90 percentile, 85 percentile. They go with the same mindset as a mock. So whatever they score in the mocks, the same mindset they go.
For example, you're talking about 30,000 people then. The top 30,000 people का band. Band में 15 mark का growth मुझे नहीं लगता है. 10, 7-8 mark मतलब on the upper side 8 marks का growth हो सकता है I think.
Yeah, there's also one more reasoning. I agree with you, sir. That the reasoning is that a lot of people who want to target at 85 or 90 percentile, they're actually like technically struggling with DILR when they're preparing, and they're like, कि, I just want to clear my cutoff. तो एक सेट 1.5 सेट हो जाएगा तो आई एम वेरी हैप्पी. आई एम वेरी हैप्पी मेरा कट ऑफ क्लियर हो जाए, पेपर कैसा भी हो, आई एम वेरी हैप्पी विद दैट. तो मतलब फ्रॉम अ स्टूडेंट्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, इफ समबडी इज लाइक दैट, तो जिसको 85-90 परसेंटाइल लाना है, ही वुड वांट टू जस्ट मेक श्योर कि ही इज गेटिंग एवरीथिंग राइट व्हाटएवर ही इज अटेम्प्टिंग, एंड ही वुड वांट टू गो स्लो एंड जस्ट क्लियर द कट ऑफ.
Hello, any comments from you about slot 2?
So in slot 2, like as Patrick sir mentioned, as compared with last year, we had traditional DI a bit on the higher side, and it wasn't like slot 1 or slot 3 where the graphs were of it was either bar graph in slot 1 or I don't know about slot 3, but in slot 2 we had bubble graphs. Like we had two separate bubble graphs, and we also had to keep in mind the area of each bubble to find different values. So that is something that I feel students would avoid, and they would need a calm mind in order to solve that set. And especially in my paper, it was the last set, and by the time I reached that set, I was completely exhausted. And even though I knew I could solve that, I didn't want to try it out.
Slot that reminds me, slot 3 में भी तो 3 set मतलब 2 sets were okay, मतलब there's not much.
Yeah.
They're just calculated, but 3 sets had a lot of logic in them.
Yeah.
This
Slot 2,
previous set had a lot of logic in it, and
yeah.
the ATM set had a lot of logic
Yeah.
in slot 3. And
But I think what DI said was easy, the bubble graph, what you said.
Yes, sir, it was fairly easy. You just need to calculate the values, and they had given 3 separate formulas. Just based on that, you needed to calculate values and ratios.
Yeah, so every slot in a DI set they made easy. That one
Yeah.
DI your set was very easy. That was the easiest one.
In our slot, it was the candlestick. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can say even the other one that bar graph one wherein there was some missing data in clues. I think that was also fairly simple only.
Which one? Which one is that?
The one where you have to subway surfers and something, no, surfers set with like there were 4 people, M N O P.
For
Yeah, and they were
travel
doing some
and
ratings. Even that was fairly simpler. Even if you try to avoid the candlestick, maybe you're not into finance or something. Even though the questions were very simple, they were all calculation based. But some people look at the graph and they're like, I want to avoid this. So even if you avoid that, the other set still is fairly simple.
Even in our slot 3 में that AC temperature one. If you did not understand how to trace the external temperature, it was very difficult to trace that.
Yeah.
And it was very likely that you got wrong values all the time. And everything was theta. Everything was theta, so you have no clues from the options.
I was about to mark it, sir, wrong. Then immediately it clicked. So that set somehow saved. That was the last set I attempted. So as Shaurya said, sir, no, so even I talked to many students today, those who were like average student, they had the same feedback, right? That DI was, they were like very confident कि पूरा सही किया है, एकदम से सही किया है. And one more set of LR, which was mixed DI, like candlestick he was talking, right? So they were able to do it. These are the average student. And those students who are like in mocks around 95, 97, 8 percentage, they all are at 3, 4 sets, which they are very confident, right? So somehow I see 90 percentile would not land less than 25. मतलब
Let's,
rest.
let's wait and see.
I don't think so. I would not agree. Matlab,
Yeah, I still don't agree. Yeah,
talking
there are
to
people who
talking to
score 3 or
people
4.
is not the right way to. I mean, you get a lot of gut feels.
Right, right.
Uh, and especially, I'm very very skeptical of people saying कि verbal तो बहुत आसान था. सब solve करके आ गए. So it's difficult to trust that kind of logic. Because see, you cannot base your I mean, at least my thought process is, you cannot base your predictions or your estimations based on anecdotes and anecdotal hearsay. So I talked to 4 people and उन्होंने ये बोला था, तो वो क्या बोल रहा है, easy था, tough था. अब जैसे I'll tell you, last year in fact मेरे YouTube channel पे ये मिशअप हुआ. What happened was, I had my session in the third slot. तो सुबह का slot का एक student ने मेरे को call किया immediately as soon as the slot got as the session got over. And I asked him how the paper was. तो he said कि quants तो बहुत आसान था. तो मैंने YouTube पे डाल दिया कि quants बहुत आसान है, reports, initial reports आए. इतनी गाली पड़ी मेरे को कि मेरे को वीडियो टेक डाउन करना पड़ा. So because later when I gave the paper, I realized कि क्या बोला है उसने मेरे को. तो anecdotal evidences पे नहीं जा सकते. In fact, that's one of the reasons people like us have to go into the paper to see exactly what I mean, because ये perception तो हो जाता है ना कितने steps थे, क्या थे, etc. हर question में. So
Right, sir, right.
and in our slot, if you see in the third slot, 3 sets were pretty tricky. The ATM set, the serial set, as well as the AC temperature set. You know, my logic अच्छा खासा built in था. It was doable. It was not doable. It was not like the javelin throw kind of thing. कि 15-20 मिनट लगा दो उसके बाद भी कुछ नहीं निकलेगा. मतलब तेल निकल रहा था after digging a little bit, but it was not like कि 6 मिनट में खत्म हो जाएगा. It was 12 to 15 minutes easily, each one of them. At least the 5 question sets. The AC one, if you got it, you could get it in 7-8 minutes. But so I would not put it at 25. I think 25 is an overestimation. 21, 22 is what I'll feel comfortable. But of course, you have a right to your opinion, and we'll see. I think the exam will finally tell us what is right.
Yeah. So to just sum up for our viewers, what were our like marks for verbal? Like some people are just asking ki, did sir say anything about percentile? To just sum up about verbal
99
and
verbal will
DLR.
be at 30, 31, I think. 5 marks dropped from last year's numbers at all levels.
No, I would not say all levels. At 99, at the lower marks, it will not change much.
A lower marks will be 3 mark drop. Yeah.
Yeah, 2-3 marks drop. At a higher level, it will go to 5 marks drop. Yeah.
So that is for verbal, and DLR, you're seeing somewhere
Yeah,
around
99 percentile will grow by 10 to 12 marks. 90 percentile will grow by around 6-7 marks. So 21, 22 will be 90 is what Patrick and I are kind of. I think Sony sir has gone out on a limb and said that 25 plus 99, 90.
This is maybe 22 to 25.
Sony is right. Sony sir is right. We'll call him to Delhi and we'll treat him to a nice aloo paratha breakfast somewhere.
Sure, sir, sure.
Right. So that is this thing. So can we close the DILR discussion? I think anything else to add?
Yeah, we can go to quant, I think.
You can go to quants. So quants mein, what is the story?
It was easier than last year for sure. That is no. Last year was a very nightmarish paper, so I'm not even comparing. But a lot of people came and said it was easy, but it was not as easy as this one. So if attempting a 10 question or a 12 question was fine, if you're a very good student, the moment you try to attempt more than 15 is where the trick comes, because a lot of these algebra or complicated sums which was a little difficult to solve. There are few who could maybe solve maybe a 20 maybe, but very few. So Yes, so the scores will go up as compared to last year, but I don't think it is as easy as a 21 paper and a 20 paper. It is easier in a 23 paper, but not as easy as the
I think
older
the
paper.
story was mostly on the easy part was mostly on the arithmetic part.
Huh. But
Yes.
yeah, but most of the students prefer arithmetic. I mean, if you look at it, at least the people who are not in the top bracket, they prefer the arithmetic part and they prepare accordingly. They don't prepare for algebra and geometry so much.
Uh,
That I think was fine.
but it was not a paper in which you could go in and solve all 22 questions and come out.
No, no, definitely not.
It was like if you actually gave everything, I think 17, 18 is what you would get to.
So
Maximum.
Patrick said 20 plus, I don't know about the first slot, but third slot, going 18 plus would be like really you are a genius.
Yeah, so
Like-
we had sat off to anybody who did 20.
Yeah, because the question that were there, they were theta, they were from with modulus, and they were minima maxima questions. So there were 3 levels of layering. So to get the question right, I don't think that you can just solve it and get the
If
right.
you're answering it, and like how many answers, how many solutions does this have? You're saying 6, you have no clue whether that's right, you're on the right planet or not.
Right.
8 हो सकता है, 2 हो सकता है, 0 कुछ भी हो सकता था उसका.
भी हो सकता है. So that those answers was like just I was guessing, okay, what best could be the answer? Okay, let that be the answer. So there were no right approach to those 6 questions. 16 questions, yes, they were very much doable. I could solve them with some with applying some time, some like just at looking at it. Like one of the questions was from your book only, where it was 720 was the answer.
हाँ, वो तो मेरे बुक में 2003 से वो क्वेश्चन है.
So
I've been
they
waiting
were
for last 20
standard
years.
question, which we do it in every day in class. But जो higher mathematics और we say advanced mathematics के question से वो नहीं हो रहे थे. वो आपको ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने किया और खुद की बजाय हो गया.
तो compound interest का question था 4,000, 4,000 you invest, how
9
many
years. 9 years.
get to 20,000? It was quite calculation intensive.
Quite calculation intensive.
First of all, to realize that 20% is the rate of interest.
Rate of interest. Then to
That
calculate.
requires a little bit of logical awareness.
Right.
और उसको वही नहीं दिखेगा कि 20% rate of interest है, और उसके बाद 20% पे 4,000 को बढ़ा के 20,000 करना.
And it was coming just 5.1 times. So there is a tendency that people will make a mistake on that, because if you have taken this fraction not right, so it will go out of this thing. You have to use the calculator. I did it with the calculator. I don't know.
Yeah. Calculator के बिना नहीं होगा वो. Even for somebody who's as good as me as calculation, I would need to bring out the calculator and do it.
I went up to 8th thing. 8 years definitely लगेंगे. But to check whether it will be 9th year or not, or will it require 10th year or that. So for that, I use calculator then.
So I will not call that question a sitter, right?
Yeah, definitely not. Sir. Definitely.
So it was from arithmetic. We are saying arithmetic was sitters only. So it was not only sitters.
Yeah,
There were maybe 4 questions
like we
which
discussed in
take के answer mark कर दो.
Like we discussed in the beginning, getting 8-9 questions right, fairly doable for everyone. But going beyond that, it will become tougher and tougher and tougher.
So where would we put it? Last year 26, 27 marks was 99 percentile.
Maybe, sir, 5 marks more. That's it. Maximum 5 marks.
There'll be a growth, right?
31 marks, yeah. So 5 marks.
30, 31.
Yeah, even my gut feel also says 5 marks. No. So again, if you look at how much would the toppers be able to raise their scores?
Last year,
Somebody who's good would solve 13, 14 questions, right? Somebody at the absolute top would solve 13, 14 questions in last year's paper. This year he'll solve 18 questions, 17, 18.
Yeah, so last year top would have solved 14 questions around. This time they would solve
Last
18,
year-
19 questions.
Last year,
marks growth. On the topper level, it's 10 mark growth. So coming down to
level, sir, how many marks?
10 mark growth.
No, sir. Last year I got 48 and my percentile was 99.99. So I don't think it going beyond 48 this year. So growth तो मुश्किल है, sir. 5 marks maximum topper भी.
5 marks maximum topper growth.
Topper.
हाँ,
Patrick,
मतलब
what do you say?
48 का 58 तो नहीं हो रहा है आपका.
हाँ, 48 का 58 नहीं हो रहा है. Definitely नहीं हो रहा है.
48 or 58 नहीं होगा, but there will be an increase because last year people, even the best of students, are not prepared
तो
for
जो
it.
40 ला रहे थे वो 50 लाएंगे कि नहीं लाएंगे? That is the question.
Yeah, I think the increase will be around 6-7 marks. So 48% will go maybe to 55, 56 question marks.
6,
So
7
maybe
marks.
100% I'll make touch 60. Little lower, but like around 60.
A couple of
Less than
guys
60.
will solve 60 marks. We'll do 60 marks. 20 question कर लेंगे.
Yeah.
But 99 will not have more than 5 marks additions.
नहीं, अगर आप 40 वाले का 6 मार्क बढ़ रहा है तो 27 वाले का तो 4 ही मार्क बढ़ेगा.
4 ही marks पड़ेगा.
Yeah, so 99 will go by 4-5 marks, so which will be
Even that
31. On 90 percentile,
you grow by 90 पे हो सकता है 4 मार्क मेंटेन रहेगा because the number of sitters in the paper was more than last year.
90 last year was approx, I think around 14, 15 marks.
14 marks. Last year
Yeah,
90 was
14.
14.
14 marks. So it
वो
will go
18
up
18 to 20 हो जाएगा उसमें.
20 हो जाएगा.
17, 18, हाँ.
वो because the number of sitters in the paper.
Yeah, right. It will touch 20, I think so.
And
No, I don't
generally
think it'll
वो-
touch 20. It'll still be around less than 20, 18 maybe.
18, 19. Again,
and those people
lot of
generally search
factors,
for
right?
arithmetic
एक
also.
chapter मेरे को नहीं आता है, arithmetic किया हूँ लेकिन mixtures नहीं किया है, mixtures नहीं समझ में आता. When you go to 90%, you're talking about 30,000 students. 30,000 में there are a lot of people with gaps in their preparation. Logs नहीं पढ़ा था, geometry नहीं करता हूँ. उन लोग को देखोगे तो then the sitters, मतलब एक sitter आपको mixtures से आगे जो आप नहीं किए हो ठीक से, you don't know what mixtures is, you don't know how to think in mixtures, तो वो sitter is lost for you. So at 90%, a lot of people lose marks that way. So I would put, I would tend to agree on 4-5 mark jump on 90 percentile level. So 18 marks. So where are predictions? If we see 90, 90, 90, what are the 3 predictions for 90? Sure. Can we collate this?
Yeah, so for quant we are at 90 is around 19 marks, 18, 19 marks.
Yeah.
Uh,
For DILR?
for DLR, 90 is again 16th
21, 20,
year,
21, 22.
21, 20, 21 marks.
So 40, 19 plus 21, 40. And what about last year's verbal?
Verbal was somewhere around 90 was somewhere around 24 marks.
So it's coming down by around 4 marks, let's say. So 20. So 20, 20, 20, it's approximately, somebody who scores 90 in all 3 gets a what, 97, 98 approximately?
90, 90, 90, 40, 54, 50, 95 percentile last year. Well, 24, 16, 14, 54 marks was 55 was 95 last year.
So I think 60 will become 90%, 95 percentile. So by this calculation. And our initial estimate that 99 will go up by around 12 marks boils down to approximately the same thing.
So last year 90 percentile overall was 45.
45. So
45.
this is
Yeah, we're
plus
talking about
10.
95.
Not overall. What
So
I'm
no,
saying,
I'll not
somebody
go
scores
plus 10.
90,
You go
90,
to plus
90 in
5,
all
plus
3
6. I think 50, 52, 50, around that.
50, 52. So from that calibration, it's 50, 52. And that's 95, right? 90 percentile.
90 percentile.
95 percentile is at around 60.
95 was last year 55.
That's going up by 6 marks, 6, 7 marks, 5,
That
60.
will go to 62 approximately.
I'm also calibrating from one other angle. Our 3 predictions of 90 are 20 marks, 21 marks, and 19 marks. So that's adding up to 60. And somebody gets 90 percentile in each of the 3 sections. Generally, the thumb rule is that person will get a 95 percentile overall. Like if you get 99, 99, 99, all 3 sections, you end up with a 99.6, 99.7 percentile. So where are 99 percentile predictions? In DILR, it's 38, 39 marks.
Yeah, DLR was 38 we talked about. Quant we talked about was 31.
Yeah, so, and verbal also we talked about as 30, was 31 itself.
Vowel last year was 39.5, so this year maybe a 35.
39.5 was what? 19? 99 was
99 was 39.5.
and then 39.5 last year. Verbal
Yeah,
mein.
for verbal.
With 5 marks dropped, 34, 35.
35, yeah. So
Addition of these 3 99s is 104 marks. Sectional 99s is adding to 104 marks. 104 marks will be 99.6, 99.7. which was at around 88-90 marks last year. तो 15 mark का growth आ रहा है यहाँ, इस angle से calculate करते हैं.
Yeah, 15 marks at that level is fine. 100% will increase by 20, but a 99.5, 99.7 will grow by 15. 99.7 will grow by 15. That's fine.
99 will grow at 12. So same, even if we calibrate this way, it's broadly coming to a 12 mark growth on 9 at
Right.
9. 77, 78, 87, 88 will be our prediction for 99 percentile. 105 pay, you will get a 99.6, 99.7. 99.9 will go to 120, 120 plus, I think. 100 का कोई ठिकाना नहीं है वो.
100 will go to 150 plus.
150 plus जाएगा. 140 plus or 150 plus? नहीं.
140 plus, 140, 150. Last year there was 150 marks, I think. One of the.
Last year 140 was on 100%. Yeah, last person.
140 was
Last person to get 100 percentile, right.
Yeah, last person was 142 last year. So this year expect
150.
It was 150. Okay, so that's it, I guess. That's our predictions. Any closing comments, Patrick sir? Any tips for CAT 25 aspirants? What should
CAT
they?
25, yeah, so I think what paper pattern that has been seen in last 2 years, algebra has become a lot of intensive. So if you're looking at scoring very high marks, then you need to focus on algebra and whatever geometry or whatever other papers. That should be a focus area. But yes, arithmetic were the easy questions this year comparatively. So if people looking at cutoffs, focus is arithmetic is what I see in mathematics. Verbal reading is important anyway because most of the questions are reading based. So you have to read. A good reading habit will help. And DLR comparatively this year was easier but also varied. So if you're solving a lot of puzzles, etc., I think a lot of practice, it should be easier to solve DLR.
Just for one thing before we wind up, I think there must be a lot of people wanting to understand what the 90 percentile score will be and the 80 percentile score will be. So can we have any predictions for those numbers? 95 we have estimated at around 60 marks. And 50 to 53 marks we have estimated 90 percentile.
95, yeah, right.
90% was around 50 marks, yeah.
50, 52 marks.
50, around 50 plus minus 2.
What about the 80? Because the
80 would be around 38, I think.
88?
Yeah.
Around 20% lower than the 90%.
Last year 80 was 34.
34.
Yeah, 34.
Last year 80 was 34. So this year it will go around by 4 marks. Let's say 38.
38, right. Okay, so that's the 80 percentile prediction. So any other questions we have not answered? Sorry, you can see the chats. Any questions you would
Yes, so
like?
generally, though, like the questions are most of the questions are about the questions which came in the paper. Okay, this question, answer, and that. If anybody has any questions, how much would be 85 percentile in DILR for cutoff purpose?
85 in DLR should be around 19, let's say.
Last year 13 was so
was
somewhere around 18, 19. I think.
19, 20.
Yeah, around 19, 20, yeah.
7-8 marks ka jump at that level.
Anything else?
I think one point I want to add, the CAT is over, but not the other exams. So a lot of students, they start thinking of CAT 25 or stop preparing for that.
Keep fighting.
If you are not able to, do well in CAT or somehow one of the section is not good, so use that preparation for your ZAT SNAP thing. So you may be able to get better because the competition reduces to almost 1/3 or 1/4 in terms of number of applicants, those who go for these exams. And obviously the SNAP difficult level.
Yeah, very, very true. I've had so many stories in my past with my students. CAT अच्छा नहीं हुआ लेकिन ZAT में crack करके went to XLRA, got the same jobs. And as we all know, you pass out of XLRA, you pass out of Ahmedabad, you got getting exactly the same career path. So that is one thing that everybody should fight for.
They should utilize this preparation that they have done, right? Maybe this was not the day, but they should not lose hope and maybe go for that. Even if they were going to go for CAT 25. Because many students come with this thing, नहीं मेरे को तो सिर्फ IIM ही जाना है और कहीं नहीं जाना है, तो वो भाई मतलब start after that thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should give XLRA definitely a chance. Chalo, so I think we can wind up. we can stop the this thing. Any
Yeah.
pressing questions apart from that? Questions
Mm,
answers. The moment the papers are released, we'll tell you the answers with the questions. So wait for a couple of days. And thank you so much, everybody.
yeah.
Right.
Patrick, let's plan some activities on your channel.
Sure, sure. I'll get that done. Maybe when the response sheet comes, we can have maybe a session at that time.
Only sir, let's do some collaborative activities with your channel also. Let's plan.